Where's group? Give me some hands for B or F. B or F, okay. Emily, why don't you start us off with a claim sentence, if you wouldn't mind. Ryan, pass that down to her, please. Thank you. Oh, man. Just, don't worry, just uncaps lock and go. It's kind of artistic. I like it. Nice. All right. In Two Kinds, Amy Tan uses imagery to portray Mr. Chong as eccentric. Comments? Besides the caps lock issue? No? Yeah. But does it imply imagery of him? Yeah. I think that's pretty clearly implied. You're right. If I said Amy Tan uses imagery to create a fearful mood, I would say, wait a minute, imagery of what? What is she using? But here, connected to character, I think it's pretty clear. Mitchell. Eccentric is vague. I don't think it's a vagueness that causes a problem for this word or this sentence. So, Mitchell, here's the difference. Vague meaning I'm questioning and I'm confused in the sentence and I can't go on very easily. Or sometimes just it begs a question that requires extra explanation, which she will when she gets down in there. I think we're on this second score where eccentric is a very specific word. Here's the difference. If she were to say, in Two Kinds, Amy Tan uses imagery to portray Mr. Chong's traits, that's vague. Because I'm like, what? Okay, of course he has traits. He's a character. That's by definition he has traits. Eccentricity we'll find out a little bit more about later on. Any other comments? No? I'm just going to change this a little bit. Emily, I'd like you to delete that and instead use imagery to portray Mr. Chong's possessive S, eccentricity. And eccentricity is E-C-C-E-N-T, E-C-C-E-N-T, R-I-C-I-T-Y. There you go. Cool. That's all right. All right, talk to me about support. What do you got? This is imagery, so we should have page reference and quotation support. Yeah, I'll trade it off. Go ahead, Abby. 136. Okay, always nice. Bottom of 36. Mr. Chong, whom I secretly nicknamed Old Chong, was very strange, always tapping his fingers to the silent music of an invisible orchestra. I like that. What words, or what word or words in that, Abby, really speak to you of eccentricity? Where can you link? But pick a word in there that seems to link to eccentric very clearly. Not quite. Not directly. Indirectly it'll link. Anybody see which word I'm talking about? Well, only about a quarter of you have your books open. So, Mitchell. Strange, yes. The link, we're always looking for what we might consider to be a direct link, which means a word that really speaks to the concept. And the word strange speaks to eccentric. Now, Abby, you're absolutely correct. The other material, indirectly links. Indirectly links means you'll have to explain how it links in your language. But strange, it's practically right there. So if we see the invisible orchestra, explain to me, Abby, how invisible orchestra makes me think eccentric. Somebody who, without care, demonstrates that they are hallucinating. Yes, we're laughing, right? That's eccentric. So in your explanation, you would say the invisible orchestra speaks of eccentric because people who hallucinate and don't mind that others notice them hallucinating are considered to be eccentric. And therefore, you got the indirect connection explained through your own language. Do we have any other quotations we could take a look at for that particular claim? Is that the only one you caught? Okay. Let's see. Trying to think if we have anything else. Yeah, Melissa. Sure. And how about though on 137 we have something that kind of mirrors what we have on 136. I soon found out why old Chong had retired from teaching piano. He was deaf. Like Beethoven, he shouted at me. We're both listening and are only in our head. And he would start to conduct his frantic silent sonatas. Conducting his frantic silent sonatas is a mirror of the invisible orchestra, and it further emphasizes his eccentricity. Okay, good enough. Let's see. Abby, Emily, were you B or F? What about the B group? All right, pass it up to Melissa. We'll get a claim. Okay. Common spelling mistake, by the way. Ow! Sorry. Common spelling mistake is the E on the end of develop. I see students doing that a lot. Develop, but it's just develop. In Two Kinds, Amy Tan uses imagery of Jingmei's mother's body language to develop a sense of disappointment. Indirectly. No. Instead of develop, use the verb imply. By the way, quick lesson of language. I was about to say indirectly develop. If you go to Mr. Moffitt's class next year or Ms. Belak's creative writing senior year, both of them like to use Stephen King's book called On Writing, in which he talks about his life as a writer and talks about what he thinks good writing is. They ask you to read that and then apply it to the writing that you read. Stephen King absolutely hates adverbs with a passion. Thinks they should be stricken from the English language. And he thinks that because I was about to say indirectly develop. In other words, develop is my verb, indirectly is my adverb. He believes that every single one of those two word strings can be condensed down into a single verb because the English language has so many verbs. And so I just demonstrated his little rule right there. Instead of indirectly develop, it's just imply. So quite often when I'm telling you that you are wordy and checking strings of words and asking you to break that down, that's what I'm talking about. All right, back to the point at hand. In Two Kinds, Amy Tan uses imagery of Jingmei's mother's body language to imply a sense of disappointment. Comments? Yeah? Wait a minute. Melissa, it's yours. Ryan. Oh, okay. With Jingmei. Yeah, you were disappointed with somebody or with something. Good, good. Any other comments? No? I think it works nicely. What's your support? Chris?
On 140, the last paragraph at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother's expression was a quite blank look that said she had lost everything.
Mm-hmm. A quiet, blank look that said she had lost everything. Give me more.
142.
Uh-huh.
Right before the little split.
Mm-hmm.
Her face went blank, mouth closed, her arms went black, and she back out of the room.
Nice. 142 right before the split. Sorry, I'm trying to get in the habit of repeating more often so the mic can pick me up. Her face went blank, her mouth closed, her arms went slack, and she backed out of the room stunned as if she were blowing away like a small brown leaf, thin, brittle, lifeless. That's nice. That's good imagery. Remember, in order to support a claim that's really establishing a trend, that she does this over time, you need to have multiple examples. And especially from different pages, from different sections of a particular area, that's much more helpful. All right, we're going to keep going on. Nice work on those.